Greetings, Warriors loyalists. Before anything else, be sure to slam that like button and subscribe right now to Warriors News Fan Report so you're always ahead of the curve on every earth-shattering development in the Bay. Now, picture this. Whispers drifting through the hallowed corridors of Chase Center, hinting that our front office has quietly inked a deal to bring in a game-changing force to anchor our defense and turbocharge our title aspirations next season. I'm talking about a player whose combination of length, athleticism, and rim-protecting prowess has vaulted him into all-star conversations. A man whose mere presence in the paint transforms any team from perimeter-focused to a juggernaut of interior dominance. But hold your horses. You'll have to stick around to find out exactly who this mystery man is. It all began with a grainy tweet from a reputable league insider, suggesting that Golden State was exploring a blockbuster trade to secure a premier center who could ease the burden on Steph Curry and Draymond Green. In the aftermath of another deep playoff run that ended short of a championship, whispers of adding size, rebounding, and shot-blocking capabilities to our roster have only grown louder. Front office sources indicate that the new target perfectly complements our high-octane offense, giving us the kind of balanced attack that can withstand both perimeter barrages and inside-out assaults. The speculation reached fever pitch after a recent visit by our general manager to a California scouting facility. Reports suggest that private workouts took place, featuring a hulking 6'11" frame gliding through drills, showcasing soft touch around the rim and a knack for altering shots without fouling. League scouts noted the seamless fit with our defensive schemes, anticipating switches, protecting the rim, and gobbling up rebounds to fuel our transition game. Could this be the incoming weapon that finally gives us the interior anchor we've craved since moving on from legacy big men? Is it possible that this move signals our front office's unwavering commitment to another championship run? Digging deeper, one source claims the trade package centers around a mix of draft capital and budding young talent. Imagine including one of our sharpshooting rookies, someone whose perimeter gravity opens lanes for drives, paired with a future first-round pick, all to land a player who can alter the very dynamics of our defense. Word on the street is that the returning pieces include a talented swingman whose athletic upside remains tantalizingly untapped, plus a couple of mid-level contracts to balance salaries and make the swap legal under NBA rules. Could this intricate chess move be the masterstroke that convinces Milwaukee, our rumored trade partner, to part ways with their rising star? Now, let's talk fit. On offense, picture our foe crowding Steph on the perimeter, only to look up and see this colossal figure sealing off any paint-bound lanes, snatching rebounds with authority, and kicking the ball back out to our shooters for open threes. Defensively, envision the nightmares. Every drive faces a brick wall, pick-and-rolls lose their pizzazz, and second-chance points for opponents dwindle to single digits. Some insiders believe that adding this kind of shot blocker would elevate Draymond Green to an even more versatile role, focusing on playmaking while trusting our new big man to anchor the paint. Could this be the perfect partnership that turns our defense into an impenetrable fortress? Of course, integrating a new centerpiece into our finely tuned system isn't without challenges. The Warriors' identity has long been built on fluid ball movement, rapid rotations, and unselfish play. Sneaking in a high-usage center requires recalibrating pick-and-roll frequencies, adjusting spacing, and ensuring that our core, Curry's gravity-defying shooting, Thompson's catch-and-shoot excellence, and Green's defensive wizardry, remains unhindered. Yet, if this incoming talent brings the selfless mindset and team-first approach we expect, the transition could feel seamless, almost as if he's been part of the dynasty since day one. Turning our gaze back to the blockbuster itself, the man at the center of all this frenzy? Jarret Allen. Yes, the very same all-star caliber center who has steadily built a reputation as one of the league's premier rim protectors and rebounders. Allen's ability to alter shots without fouling and his high-efficiency scoring around the basket make him a coveted asset, someone who could redefine what it means to play Warriors basketball inside. Could Allen's arrival be the missing ingredient that propels us from contenders to favorites? Fans are already buzzing with excitement, flooding social media with hypothetical highlight reels of Curry finding Allen on lobs and green and gold, jerseys bearing his name. Such a monumental shift would send shockwaves across the Western Conference. Teams like the Suns and Lakers, long touted as our primary rivals, would be forced back to the negotiating table, scrambling to counterpunch with their own front-court reinforcements. Meanwhile, contenders like Minnesota and Denver would suddenly find themselves playing catch-up in an arms race that just tilted dramatically in Golden State's favor. Some pundits argue this trade could redefine the power balance in the NBA, ushering in a new era where a perfected blend of shooting, defense, and physicality becomes the blueprint for championships. But with every high-stakes move comes high stakes, luxury tax implications, potential chemistry shifts, and the risk that mid-season adjustments could temporarily stall our offensive flow. Yet, if there's one thing Warriors Nation knows, it's that this franchise thrives on ambitious gambits and innovative roster construction. From the Splash era to the Durant experiments, we've witnessed daring moves pay dividends time and again. So here's where we stand. The prospect of Jarret Allen donning royal blue and gold, anchoring our defense and providing the kind of interior force that has eluded us in recent playoff runs. If the front office indeed pulls the trigger, we could be witnessing one of the most consequential trades in franchise history, one that cements our status as perennial title contenders. Now, Warriors faithful, we've laid out every angle, so tell us, how do you feel about this potential game changer? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell right now, Warriors Nation, because you won't want to miss a single update once this seismic trade for Jarret Allen officially lands. Imagine waking up to the headline, Golden State Warriors land. All-Star center Jarret Allen. The debate would ignite instantly. How will this transform our championship aspirations? Let's peel back the curtain on the finer details of this blockbuster swap and explore the ripples it would send across the league. First, the financial gymnastics. To bring in Allen's first-year salary on a 4-year deal averaging around $30 million per season, Golden State would need to shed salary and leverage every cap exception available. Word is the Warriors have already engaged in preliminary buyout talks with veteran role players on expiring contracts, machine-like glue guys whose contributions in practice and locker room could give way to cap relief. Then comes the sign-and-trade dance. Golden State re-signs Allen, funnels back veteran salaries and a downloadable draft pick, and locks in a package that matches up under the NBA's complex trade rules. It's a delicate ballet of numbers, but if any front office can pull it off, it's ours, with Bob Myers' legacy of wheeling and dealing and the current brains trust continuing that tradition. On the court, envision the recalibrated rotation. Steph Curry continues to orbit the arc, pulling defenders out and creating space. Klay Thompson remains the lethal off-ball sniper, ready to feast on kickouts. Draymond Green adapts to a more fluid point-forward role, orchestrating defensive schemes and initiating the offense. And now, Allen steps in as the backbone, swatting shots with precision, corralling rebounds to ignite fast breaks, and finishing around the rim with soft touch. In pick-and-rolls, he screens like a freight train, then rolls with purpose, providing a consistent lob threat. His defensive IQ allows seamless switches on smaller shooters, and his discipline keeps him out of foul trouble. Could this be the rock-solid interior anchor that lets Green roam freely on defense and Curry unleash without fear of paint penetration? But chemistry is the true X factor. Warriors basketball has thrived on rhythm, spacing, and trust, forged over countless playoff battles. Integrating a new centerpiece mid-season, or even in the off-season, carries risk. Shots might get redistributed, rotation minutes recalibrated, and locker room dynamics tested. However, insiders close to the team highlight Allen's reputation as the consummate teammate, unselfish, hard-working, and eager to sacrifice for winning. Could his seamless personality and team-first attitude make this transition smoother than any big-name trade we've seen? Only time will tell, but early indicators suggest he'll embrace a supporting role, letting Curry shine while anchoring a defense that desperately needed a dominant rim protector. Zoom out to the broader NBA landscape, and the impact is breathtaking. The Suns, who were just a late-run bucket away from a championship, must now question whether their backcourt firepower and Kevin Durant chase are enough to counter a Warriors lineup boasting sharpshooting and interior muscle. The Lakers, forever in the shadow of Golden State's dynasty, suddenly face a fearsome combination of perimeter and paint penetrator that might force them to pivot toward a front-court shakeup of their own. Even the upstart Timberwolves and Nuggets, both boasting star-studded cores, would find their Western Conference title dreams put on ice if the Warriors assert this new front-court dominance. The trade dominoes would fall. Teams would scramble for two-way big men, defensive anchors, and floor-spacing wings, all in a frantic bid to keep pace. Media pundits would dissect every nuance. Is this the ultimate balance of skill sets? Would headline SportsCenter debates, while insiders on the Ringer podcast mull over the luxury tax toll and the long-term draft implications. Social media erupts with mock-up Allen Warriors jerseys, highlight reel mashups of Curry lobbing alley-oops, and fiery Twitter polls asking whether this makes Golden State the overwhelming favorites or if the risk of disrupting their free-flowing offense looms too large. Fan blogs would publish 5,000-word think pieces about how Allen's mid-range touch could average out to 12 points and 10 rebounds per game, while others analyze his rim protection metrics, blocks per 36 minutes, contest rates, and opponent field goal percentages at the rim. And what about the championship window? The Warriors have one of the oldest cores in the league, and questions about wear and tear inevitably arise. Adding Allen could extend our window by several years. His age profile suggests he's entering his prime, while Curry and Klay still have elite shooting arcs. Draymond's leadership and playmaking remain irreplaceable. Together, they could form a multi-year powerhouse that challenges the notion that dynasties must be short-lived. Could this move cement a second wave of Warriors dominance akin to the early 2010s, or will the trials of salary cap restrictions and aging veterans erode our edge sooner than expected? Of course, no trade of this magnitude comes without dissenters. Some fans worry about sacrificing future flexibility. Those unprotected picks and young prospects are the lifeblood of sustainable contention. Others fear the ripples in team culture, questioning whether a new big man can truly integrate into the tight-knit Warriors family. Are we risking the selflessness that's been our hallmark for a quick fix? Yet, when seasoned executives push hard and coaches endorse the vision, it often means they've seen the blueprint for sustained success. Warriors Nation has learned to trust the process, even when it defies conventional wisdom. So here we stand at the precipice of a new era. Jarret Allen in royal blue and gold, patrolling the paint, snatching rebounds, and complementing a backcourt that rewrote the rulebook on three-point shooting. If this trade comes to fruition, it will go down as one of the franchise's most daring and potentially rewarding gambles. The path to banners is never linear, but this move could be the catalyst that propels Golden State from perennial contenders to the undisputed standard-bearer of championship excellence. But what do you think about this potential seismic shift? Personally, I'm buzzing with excitement, imagining those alley-oops, the stifling defense, and the trophy parades. Yet I recognize the weight of every asset we're giving up and the challenge of melding new pieces into our storied system. I can't wait to read your takes in the comments below. If this deep dive sparked your passion, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and hit that bell so you're front and center when history unfolds. Until then, stay golden